Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Saturday morning here, and I found myself an extra 90 minutes to do an action figure review. So I decided, let's tackle this SHFiguarts Pain, the Rinnegan of the Six Paths from the Naruto Shippuden series. It's a P-Bandai exclusive release, so it does cost a bit more than standard release of the Naruto line, obviously. So the question is it actually worth the more expensive sticker price? I guess we'll find out together as we go along on this review. And before anything else, I just want to say that I've been really looking forward to this release, just because Pain is, in my opinion, one of the most memorable villains in the series, and coming from one of the best story arcs that I've felt like I would have been happy if the series concluded there, just because the roller coaster ride that it takes you through, and all the deaths that really would crush the viewer, including myself, and how things were turned around towards the end, and the build-up, and how our main protagonist finally got the acknowledgement that he deserved, as the hero of Konoha. So the combat scenes were awesome, legendary, and the dialogue between Naruto and Pain or Nagato was definitely one that would leave an imprint to the viewer. I imagine that it was a mutual experience among passionate Naruto Shippuden consumers, and so the Pain arc was definitely peak Naruto Shippuden. It really drove me to the edge of my seat, and for many reasons outside of the ones that I mentioned, peak Naruto Shippuden. It did come inside this brown sugar box. Not necessarily that it adds value, but this is usually the mark of a premium Bandai release. So yeah, there's that, and the box itself looks nice. Several product shots here at the back, and I think it does come with an extra accessory for Naruto. Well, not really, but it does show him, throwing hands with Sage Mode Naruto right there, so that's really cool. The window does extend all the way up here at the top. It does let lighting in, and delineates the details of the figure from inside the box. If you're one of those in-box collectors that you just want to appreciate the presentation itself before you crack this thing open. And yeah, there's some printed text right here on the window itself. Very neat product shot here at the front with some photo editing, of course. And here on the side is just more of the same. So yeah, it's a pretty cool SHFiguarts box. So let's just bring this to the side. These to the side. Oh, in terms of it being an SHF, it doesn't have the craziest amount of extra hands, but 4 sets of extra hands, I think, hits the sweet spot. Just because it helps avoid decision fatigue, especially if you're someone like me who has a tendency to have analysis paralysis or decision fatigue. But yeah, 2 extra faceplates as well, very well handled. The expressions are as expressive as they can be. Also comes with the chakra rod, primary choice of weapon in the series. Very simplistic. It gets the job done in terms of channeling chakra from Nagato, as he is controlling the vessel that which is Pain. He also uses it to immobilize his enemies by restricting their chakra flow. So it's a really deadly weapon, if you ask me. As much as possible, I want my figure to be 100% plastic, at least a variety of plastic to account for different pieces, so that it's optimized for mobility or range of motion. But this isn't so bad. I think it's okay as a soft goods robe. It's not the most impressive thing in the world, but I think it is fairly okay. The figure itself does have great proportions, even without the cloth goods, and where there is paint, as exemplified by that steel plate on his headband. It's done really well, and just like the alternative faceplates, the default one does look really good. Yeah, he looks cool, as edgy as he does in the series. So yeah, even without the cloth goods, he does have great proportions. Front and back looks nice, and the hair does have the correct orange color that he does have in the show. It turned out to be really good. I really love how they cut him up. Pretty standard for these Naruto releases, but it does deserve, it's well handled. I've been saying it over and over, but yeah, everything about this figure is well handled, including the articulation points. It's not seamless by any means, but they do flow organically, if that makes any sense. It looks really pale just because he is a reanimation by Nagato, so a dead person brought back to life. So yeah, I think it works well in his favor that it doesn't have any shading in these areas. I do imagine that most people will be hosing him around with the robe, with the soft goods, just because for most of the story arc he was wearing his robe, I think. Although I do have a vague recollection that he did take it off, but I don't know, maybe it's just the effect of holding this figure right now that it's messing up my memory. I'm not sure if that's the best way to handle it, but that's how I'm doing it. I did get the job done anyways, so yeah, should I close his robe? Yeah, let's just do it that way. I'm not sure how I feel about this because it does look a bit oversized, especially where the arms are concerned, or the sleeves. But yeah, maybe I should replace his hands with ones that are open or splayed out, just so it doesn't look like it doesn't have arms underneath those sleeves. Head movement with the lower and upper neck joint goes down that far. Looking up, just as impressive. Side to side, no problem at all. And all the way around. So yeah, ample range on the head and neck. Arms go out that far, but obviously you can't do the 360 rotation just because he's wearing the robe. But you don't really need to do that. You're just gonna have to move his arms in opposite directions depending on how you want to pose him. And we do have a bicep swivel inside. You can't see it obviously, but even with the robe on, there's no problem moving it around. So that's pretty cool. Another approach that you can do is, just take off the robe first, or at least expose his arms so that you can have a more precise control of the bicep swivel right there. And there's a joint here as well on his shoulders that you can rotate to your liking. And there's a butterfly joint. But yeah, let's put this back on. Butterfly joint works well even with the robe on, I think. Yeah. Goes back. Goes forward so that you can cross his arms. Just like so. Well, it's not the most optimal, but it gets the job done. And he looks dynamic enough. Normally I would protest Path goods, but I do love the way it looks on him. And I'm guessing it's the same for Itachi and all the other Akatsuki members that they will release in the future, but they could definitely improve upon the cloth goods moving forward. But yeah, it does look dynamic with the way it flows on his arms, so no problem at all. Jointed elbows. Then we have the ball joints on the wrists that allows you to move his hands all the way around. Let's try not to pop this off. There you go. Anyway, you know how it works. Up, down, and then you can just up, down, and then all the way around. No problem at all. Ab crunch. Oop. And then back, and then side to side movement. Then you can kind of twist it slightly. A bit of rotation on both the upper and the lower joints. Let's just take this off for a bit so we can properly demonstrate that. There you go. And then there. Yeah, doesn't look awkward even without the robe on. So cool. Legs do go out that far. Full-on splits. The skirt pieces are made of soft plastic. That's how they've been doing it for quite some time now, but it deserves mentioning because it's a job well done, and they're not fixing what it's not broken. Does have a thigh swivel. It's perfectly fine. Double jointed knees do work really well. They almost don't expose any gap. Yeah, there isn't any gap at all, especially if you handle it well. We've got more going on down here because we have this lower leg or shin swivel, and then this ankle swivel, plus the foot can go up that far, going down, and then going backward, and then side to side. So yeah, very good ankle movement right there, or ankle rocking movement. Then the toe joint, which is fine. So yeah, impressive articulation for what it is. Even with a robe on, you wouldn't have any problems posing him around. Yeah, definitely a lot of adjustment posing because of the extra joints that you don't normally get from other SHF figures. Although this has been the standard or the benchmark for the Naruto releases. So I'm quite pleased with how awesome their Naruto releases are, because Naruto is one of the best anime of all time. It is the GOAT, one of the GOATs. 5.8.5 inches, 14.7 centimeters. Right next to some other figures, the Mafex X-Force Deadpool, the SHF Deadpool from the Deadpool and Wolverine movie, the Mafex The Dark Knight Returns Batman, and then the Mafex Scarlet Spider. I have most of the SHF Naruto Shippuden figures, but they're all inside their boxes except for Pain, obviously. I might eventually come around to reviewing them one by one, just because SHF does reruns of their figures based on demand, and eventually there will be demand for the older releases. So, you know, the videos might pick up at some point. We'll see. I'll do it for fun, for sure. But yeah, my verdict is that if you are a big Naruto fan, such as myself, then this is a must-have. Just going by the fact that the Pain arc was one of the most pivotal arcs in the show. And as an action figure, they did manage to deliver. It could have been better. They could have given him more accessories. Not that it doesn't have enough, but seeing as this is a P-Bandai exclusive release, it's more expensive, then I was thinking that they should have thrown in a bit more. Maybe some accessories for other characters in the line. But other companies have definitely done worse in that department, so I'm not totally mad. There are some things that hold it back, such as the cloth goods, obviously, but it is acceptable. There is an acceptable range of movement even with the robe on, so I can live with it. Yeah, I wouldn't highly recommend it, but I wouldn't dissuade you from buying it as well. It's just, if you ask me, you should definitely get an action figure of Pain if you had the budget to grab it. That's kind of where I am. Take it or leave it. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one, hopefully. Bye.